Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Standing. My name is Beth, and I'm sitting in my classroom, but I finished two books this morning because most of my students had testing. So, in between watching other people's kids, I managed to finish two short middle grade books. I want to talk to you about them real quick. The first one was In Ned's Head. This is by Anders Jacobson and Soren Olsen and translated by Kevin Reed. This is apparently part of a very popular Swedish series, and it is about a middle grade boy. I believe he turned 12. He had a birthday and turned 12 in this book. So he's in sixth grade or fifth grade. I think he's in sixth grade. He may be in fifth grade, but the girl he likes at the beginning of the book is in sixth grade. So I'm obviously not sure. But it's just diary entries because Ned keeps a diary. And there is a whole series of these. I'm not sure where this falls in the series, but you can read this without having read any of the others and understand it perfectly well. It's quite humorous. He doesn't like the name Ned, so he writes in his diary that his name, I think it's Treb something. Treb Vladinsky. It's just funny. He talks about his best friend, and his best friend likes to do little science experiments, and so they do these science experiments. It talks about this game that they have where they created a different country, and they take turns being like the president and the chief of police and things like that. It's great. I enjoyed it. It's about a 3-star. It's not the best thing I've read, but it was funny, and is told completely, from Ned's perspective, first person diary entries. Talks about his family and his friends, people he goes to school with. It was very cute, and I enjoyed it. And it is also fairly short, like 125 pages, 128 pages. So definitely one of the shortest middle grade books I have read, although the other one I completed is the shortest middle grade book I have read, at least in recent times. It is less than 100 pages, 88 pages, and it's called The Berry Pickin' Man by Jane Buchanan, and there are some pictures in there. So the illustrations are by Leslie Bowman, and they are all illustrations like this, just absolutely gorgeous. And this one follows Maggie, and Maggie is 9. So this is on the lower end of middle grade, kind of upper children's lower middle grade. And Maggie is the youngest of 3 kids, 3 girls, but it doesn't really focus on her sisters. We hear about them a little bit just because she's annoyed. She is the baby, and it focuses on her and her mother and the berry pickin' man whose name is Old Sam. Now, Old Sam, he picks berries. That's what he does. He was placed in a psychiatric hospital by his brother, and he lived there for like 25 years. And then all of a sudden, like, he could exist on his own outside of the hospital, and funding for the hospital got cut. So they released people who could actually take care of themselves in the outside world. So Old Sam has shown up in their little town at their church, and he rents a room like above the dry cleaners. And basically, he goes out and he picks berries during the summer. And the description is that he's this old man who's kind of got a few screws loose. He doesn't really bathe or take care of himself much. So he stinks, he's dirty. And Maggie's mom, whose name is Nan, she will go and pick him up, and she always makes Maggie go with her. Old Sam says Maggie is his favorite kid, and Maggie is just really grossed out, and she doesn't want to do it, and she thinks it's because she is the youngest and her mom's forcing her to. But really, She feels guilty about not liking him and not wanting to go. So she ends up going, even when her mom doesn't force her to, because she feels guilty. So it's really a story about having empathy and treating people well, but it focuses on her and her mom and their ability to be empathetic for old Sam, and like the way his family treats him and the way Maggie and Nan treat old Sam. And it actually turns into a very sweet story. It is very short, and I think that it could have been fleshed out and made into a longer middle grade story, but for what it is as an upper children's chapter book / lower middle grade book, it is very well done, and it has a very good message involved in it, and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3 stars as well. So I've finished these 2 today, and I am starting this one, which is Seas Behind Trees by Michael Doris. This is an indigenous book for the Ian family. And so far I'm on like page 2, so I haven't gotten very far into it. It says, no matter how hard he tries, Walnut doesn't see as well as others do. So when he and the other boys of his tribe must prove they're ready to be adults by the accuracy of their arrow shooting, Walnut is worried. How can he hit a target when he can't even see? But at the ceremony, the boys are first asked to listen to the woods and see what can't be seen. With the practiced use of his other senses, Walnut earns the respect of his people and his adult name, Seas Behind Trees. Seas Behind Trees still doesn't feel like a man, however, so when the elderly artist Greyfire asks him to help find the mysterious land of water, Seas Behind Trees can only promise to try. On their journey, they encounter kind strangers, unanswered questions, lost dreams, and unexpected dangers. Ultimately, Seas Behind Trees faces a much more difficult test of his maturity. He must save himself and find his way home. This is set in 16th century America and tells the story of a boy who learns to turn a handicap into an advantage as he crosses the blurred boundaries between being a child and becoming a man. So, in the back it says, before Pocahontas, there was a boy named Seas Behind Trees. So that is what I am working on next. Elena and I have also started an audiobook, The Amazing Talking Machine or something like that. And we are on chapter 2 of that one. So I'll let you know how those go. Let me know what you're reading and if you've ever heard of or read either of these. I will talk to you again soon. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Bye.